fight. And he does lose even more Mutalisks. He is getting the upgrade on his vehicles. And it looks like Darkforce is now transitioning into roaches. I guess he agrees with me, and he thinks that the Hellions and Thors are a good counter for his Mutalisks and Zerglings, so because these do a nice toasty 25 damage to the Zerglings, and these do a nice toasty 13 damage to the air. And oh, that's got to be a misrally right there. Poor Zerglings. Getting toasted alive for no reason. Didn't even kill this poor SEB with just 10 life. And here goes another command center to go lift off in place here, which will make this game slightly interesting because that is a very, very short travel time between the two expansions. Oh, and the Vikings were still alive, just hiding somewhere, but they're going to murder this queen probably. Nope, not quite. Here comes the Mutalist to come save the day in Zerglings. Cranking out Thors and Hellions. Nothing out of the starport. Can't say I blame him. Not anything I don't think would be too useful right now out of the starport. But Vikings would get murdered by the Mutalisk and wouldn't do any good except that the Thors don't already cover. And here we can see his transition into the roaches. Now, one thing that he is lacking are upgrades completely, and this is going to, I'm sure, hurt him a little bit. As Jinro is pushing out to see what is coming, and these 4 Thors are going to absolutely destroy those Mutalisks, and that's not enough roaches to do anything, even though he's against Hellions and Thors. The Thors do a lot of damage per shot to the roaches, and the roaches are taking a lot of damage, and there they go down. He is going to toast some of these creep tuners to back that away. I'm surprised he can't. Oh, he can't see that one. There we go. Keeps scanning, keeps killing the creep tumors, keeps making sure these things don't burrow, because that can be a pain when they all of a sudden burrow up on top of your Hellions and Thors. Sweeping around to hit this back, and I'm not sure I like that position. I think he should have pulled back up here first, because right now he is getting a little bit of getting surrounded a little bit. And I'm not sure who's going to win this fight, even though there aren't that many roaches. There aren't that many units from Jinro either, and here keeps coming in more reinforcements, These roaches do take a lot of damage from these Thors, and that Thor decided to stomp over there and just doing absolutely massive damage to these roaches. So I think as a Zerg player, I'm not going to build many roaches against Thor, since that Thor has 18 kills, this Thor has 12 kills, a sergeant and a commander, still taking out more and more units. He drops a mule in to help repair or try to, but just too many Zerglings, too many roaches in here now. Yep, there falls one, and no, the sergeant, run away! Not quite. Hellions show up at the nick of time, or at the, right outside of the nick of time, I guess. He is coming to land his command center. Now he has more Thors to back up, and these Thors are just going to rip through these Thors and rip through and the Hellions rip through the Zerglings. This is a very efficient force against Zerg. I think Darkforce would need to get some infestors as well, but I don't see any of those coming from the production tab, just some roaches. And I don't think that's going to work very well, since, well, they haven't worked very well against a Thor so far. And that's partly because every shot they do 70 damage to the roaches, unless these roaches have gotten upgraded armor. They have, so they are doing 68 damage. Still a lot. Still killing roaches in 3 rounds of fire from the Thors. And these Hellions do help a little bit, doing a little bit of damage. They only do 10 damage, but that's still something. Especially since it arcs across multiple units, has a little bit of splash damage to it. And it looks like he is getting a planetary fortress up here, so that'll put him in a very good position. I think most of the battles we will see will take place right here against these 2 expansions. The Zerg is going ahead and grabbing his 3rd expansion down here. Ooh, catching some of those drones on transfer. And we'll see if Jinro gathering up more forces. Has a bunch of Thors now. 7 Thors. It's a lot of Thors. And right now we only see Darkforce producing roaches. I don't particularly agree with this. I think he needs to get some more units. Even though Zerglings are dying to the Hellions, honestly, I'm not too sure what he should go from here. I do think Infestors would help a little bit with Neural Parasite to take over some of these Thors. Maybe even Hydralisk would do well, even though the Hellions do extra damage to the Hydralisk. But regardless, I do think that he does need to be getting some form of unit besides just mass roaches. I don't think it's going to do well enough, and especially with these siege tanks up here, more roaches die. See, because here we see something where the Jinro having a very good unit mix. He had a very good mech mix, a couple of siege tanks, Hellions, and Thors, with very, very upgraded weapons, getting that third weapon upgrade. So all these mech units just do so much damage. And maybe even Broodlords would help a lot, but I guess the Vikings would pop out. But something besides just mass roaches. I don't think there's enough roaches here to take care of the problems. These Hellions will keep coming in and out, just poking their heads in, shooting real quick, backing off. Thor's just hanging out in the background. More roaches hanging out here and getting vision of it. Ooh, splashing those roaches badly. I will note this is the patch with the shot cannons doing 50 damage unupgraded. They're doing 60 because he does have the 2 upgrades on him. So it's like a pre-nerf tank now. And I'm surprised not to see any scout from Jinro to make sure that he's not expanding other places, but he is. Oops. Still producing more mech units. Going to come down here, shoot a little bit with his Hydralisks. With his Hellions, they both start with H, don't blame me too much. Building turrets along with his army so that he doesn't get surprised by burrowed roaches. And we do see tunneling claws being built, and armor upgrade too for the roaches. He does have 1 weapon upgrade now as well, so he's starting to get upgraded, but these already have 2 weapons up on them, and we will see more upgrades coming. He keeps sticking these Hellions in and out, hiding these roaches a little bit, toasting the ones he can, just doing whatever damage he can do. Toasted that queen. I do like watching queens burn. And this isn't particularly a good position for Darkforce to be in. Just pumping out roaches, not much he can do. He can't sneak up here now because the missile turret's built. And these, since the Hellions have a longer range, he can just keep popping in here, shooting those. And here he comes to attack. He's dropping at the same time, trying to do some damage, but he sees the siege tanks up here, so he drops up here. But there's just too many units. The Hellions and the Thors absolutely ripping apart the force down here. Siege tank destroying the force up here, and 25 more roaches coming out, but not going to be in time. This hatchery should get taken out now. Waiting for his slow Thors. He does have the 3 weapon upgrade, so 72 damage per shot, or per volley from the Thor. Even these Hellions are doing 11 damage to the armored units. Not bad. That falls almost instantly. He needs to be targeting these drones. It looks like it doesn't matter. They just get toasted as they come down anyway. Coming in for another death drop, trying to do something to stop this massive army of Jinro. Here he does see that he does have an expansion down here. So I'm not sure if we'll see Jinro move to that expansion or do a push inside the base. It looks like he is going down towards that expansion. Watch how fast those units die. That's just crazy. Still coming in here. Looks like he's going to do a drop on the main base. No, he dropped some just to take out some units there, but that's not going to work very well since he kind of got caught. And here come down the roaches into the main base, trying to do a drop, trying to do some damage to his Jinro's production, but the Thors were right behind, so it's not going to be able to do enough damage. That siege tank goes down, starting to attack the factory. He's really just trying to hit Jinro's production. Thor popped out at the wrong time. And that factory will fall to these roaches, but only 1 factory down, and these roaches are now pretty much trapped, sending the SCVs up here, scanning, and unfortunately he's going to find these 2 bunkers here, so he's actually just trapped in a corner at this point. Not much good for this roach army, as they get blasted away by all the Thors pumping out their cannons. And Darkforce GG's, and it looks like Jinro did get some revenge against Darkforce. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that replay. I hope my voice sounds better. I hope the frame rate stayed high enough that there wasn't any noticeable lag. If you could leave me feedback and let me know how my voice is sounding. Let me know if there was any lag watching the game. I would greatly appreciate